Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 355. The title of today's lesson is Don't Say Later when you should be saying from now. Okay, yeah, this is, especially with ESL students, English of a second language, they may be using later when they're talking about something in the future from the present time. You should not be using later at that time. You should be using from now. Okay, let's look at the note. You should use later in regard to something that happened after another action or fact has already passed. Okay. If you want to talk about something that is expected to happen or may happen, you should use from now. That's actually the most common one. But you might be able to choose a few others, in the future or into the future or from our present time, etc. It all depends on what you're talking about, which one might be suitable. But from now is probably the most common one. All right, good. So let's take a look at some examples where students might make a mistake. Of course, with the X, this is wrong. So here the student says, I think there will be flying cars 100 years later. Okay, he's wrong because he's really talking about from this time into the future 100 years. So the correct way to say it would be, I think there will be flying cars 100 years from now. That's the most common one. Or you could say, in the future or into the future or from our present time. There might even be several other ways you could say it. But you should not be saying later. Okay, let's look at number 2 here. Again, with the X, this is wrong. She graduated 2 years later. Or she will graduate 2 years. Even here you're using will, so it's proving that you're talking about the future. She will graduate 2 years later. No, she will graduate 2 years from now. Again, from now is the most common one. Okay, so that means that she didn't actually graduate yet. 2 years into the future, she will graduate. All right, and here's a couple of examples where later is used correctly. After getting married, she had a child 2 years later. So both of these are in the past, Who knows? Maybe she got married 10 years ago, and 8 years ago she had the child. So they're both in the past. They're not in the future. So, okay, let's look at the second one. He started that job in 2010 and got a promotion 2 years later. So again, both are in the past. So the first action happened in 2010. He got the job. Then 2 years later, 2 years after that, he got a promotion. So that's the way you would use later. Okay, anyway, I hope it's clear. I hope you got it. Hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.